I hate that one. Hit the wrong music this week.
Yeah,
Said I'll go with it. I'll go with it. Hated it. The name of that royalty-free music was "Feeding the Ducks."
That I don't even understand where it got that name for that
I
little.
don't either. I expect at least one quack.
Right?
There were no quacks. No quacks.
No sounds of bread being ripped and thrown.
Nothing. Hi, everybody. You have tuned in to Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza. I'm Ian.
I am Jerrod.
And,
I think we are seeing what happens when we take a month off from shows.
I need to take total responsibility. I am going to take total responsibility. My schedule got crazy. There was supposed to be a Wednesday meeting, and then there wasn't a Wednesday meeting. But by that time, something else got scheduled, and then then we were going to do it last week, and I forgot to change it when we decided we couldn't do it last week. So all frustration needs to be directed at this guy here, not that guy. This guy. Yeah, Jerrod actually was the one reminding me of needing to move things, and then had the best response to our comments last week, saying that we decided to try lying about our showtime, but we'll go back to telling the truth next week. So I apologize, and hey, we got some viewers. Hey, my apologies working.
That's right. That's all people are looking for. Ian being humbled.
Me being humbled.
People want.
You never see it, but here it is. I believe in taking responsibility, and I'm taking responsibility. But you found us, and we're back, so that's good.
If you're not out there canceling shows, you're just here using copyrighted material and getting us kicked off YouTube.
That's right, and losing our rising star.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh. Actually, we got a little bit of an uptick because of the complaints of not being on the air. That's a horrible, horrible place to be when your engagement rises because you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Better Business Bureau also reached out to me about our lack of integrity on our show dates.
Yeah, well, we're back. This is it. Basically, I remember it's the weeks I don't have shows at Pig that is because every other week, so it's on the off weeks, and that's how I remember. And that's what happens when I try to mess with it. So
yeah, it's a little walk into Ian's mnemonic memory.
Yeah, it's as I get older, I need more of them, and they're getting more complicated. Good Lord. So how you been?
Doing good. It's been an exciting time lately.
Yeah, big things.
Yeah, for people who don't know, I'll just announce it here. I was recently named as Pig's new artistic director, and that is super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, exciting for me as co-host because I'm all about jumping on coattails. So
I'm so proud to finally have some coattails. I'm gonna drag you right to the top, Ian.
I can't wait. Sponsors are coming. Once Jerrod can start saying sponsor my show, I'm an artistic director. I think that was the one thing we weren't able to say to get big time sponsors like Coke or Pepsi Cola on board.
So I'll share some. This is very, very true, very real information that I haven't shared outside of the cloistered community that interviewed me and named me, and that I only signed up to do this for 1 year, which is a pretty short stint for a position like that. But I did it conscious decision for a couple reasons. One, it's a very easy position to get worn out in. Mm-hmm. If I was able to do it as my full-time job, then I think, I could definitely tackle that for a longer period of time. But working full-time and doing that, I could tell I would get burnt out if I did it more. And I wouldn't want to do that. Wouldn't want to walk away without, and hate what I'm walking away from. And then, it'll be the third year. I'll be trying to move out west. So I don't want to have that keep me from have to decide at the last minute which one I'm going to cut.
Yeah.
This year, just housing prices going so high and everything, I can't make that move. I need to save up more money.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have you for a year, I think.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. There's some things I like to do. I'm taking over from somebody who is incredible. So it's, a high bar to try to leap over. So I just want to, at the very least, be able to reach it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Shout out to the previous artistic director, Alyssa. She did a wonderful, or Peter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Peter. I always get those two. I'm going to assume you do everything because I always forget who does what of those two positions.
I only do the things that like bring me like fame and fortune.
Oh, okay. That tracks. That is very on brand for Jerrod.
That's right. The real work that gets done behind the scenes that like makes people successful, that's not my niche at all. No. I'm more for the positions that take credit.
Yes. Well, nicely done. You have set yourself up. So what else? All right. So you got that big news. What else is going on? Did you survive the snow yesterday?
Yeah, that torrential blizzard.
The blizzard. I am so angry, Jerrod. I am so angry. For reasons I don't really want to get into. I can't shovel. I can't do it. So I usually pay for health reasons. So I usually pay for somebody to shovel the walk. So yesterday I had resigned myself. I was just going to let nature take its course. My car was in the shop. So I just had to get it. I had to get it from the shop yesterday, bring it home. So I was like, well, I don't really need to shovel out a car, and it's not that deep. I can just drive into it. And in a day or two, you'll see grass again. Cause it was supposed to, back in the 40s and there was rain and everything. Well, the kid that has been doing my driveway and walk, he texted. I wasn't going to reach out. He texted yesterday. He's like, and it's been 2 years because last year I didn't need it. I wasn't home when it snowed, or there's just so little snow last year. So I was like, oh God, I'll ask him to do it. It'll be better. Like the walk, I should do it if someone needs to come up to the door. It's an agreement with my landlord that I take care of it. So I pay for it, $50. And he does hand shoveling. He doesn't bring a snowplow. This is a college kid, comes in his car, brings out his shovel, does a real nice job, lays down salt, goes the extra mile. So he asked for 40, I give him 50, right? Well, this happens in the morning. By yesterday afternoon, I see the grass. It was the biggest waste of $50 that I have ever spent. And I am cheap, so it hurt. It physically hurt. So
it's good to, I like to hear the stories of like college kids and kids who are still out there doing the same thing that we were.
Yeah.
Out there, working hard, trying to money. Because one of my pet peeves, one of the things that just gets my goat,
grinds my
gears, is when people like we've been hearing it all our life. I don't know how this continues to happen, but I've read, been happening for thousands of years. People who are like, kids today, they just don't work hard anymore. Kids today, they're different than we were, blah, blah, blah. How could people forget that they heard the same thing when they were
a kid?
Exact age. It kills me when I hear people my age complain about teenagers today. They're different than we were. No, they're not. We were little shits too. That's that phase of life when you're going through. You're starting to test your boundaries.
Yeah.
And there's always plenty of kids out there who are willing to shovel the walk or mow the lawn. They're still out there.
And
I think they're better behaved today than they were when I was a teenager, to be honest.
And hey, they can make money on Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff. And people they don't even know. They're making their shoveling money playing video games. And don't tell me you wouldn't do the same thing if you had the opportunity.
Right. Absolutely.
They have taken our model, the shitty model that we handed to them, and said, and this is how you earn money. This is the model. And they said, screw that. And they found all new ways. And then we're going to bitch that they're not doing it the way we did it. Well, not me, not this old man.
And it's funny because it was up until pretty recently where all the complaint was millennials.
Yeah.
Millennials were, it was like at that point, millennials were in their 30s, late 30s.
They were bosses of a lot of people that were complaining. Yeah, no, I mean, I have the pleasure of working with college students, and I'm always amazed at how different they look at problems than we did. And I don't think it's better. I don't think it's worse. but I always think different is great. I think it means change, means there's going to be good change, you know?
Yeah, and different is fine. If you're going for the right thing, if they're going for the right thing, then
Yeah.
different is fine.
Yeah.
It's all about what you're trying to do.
Great. Yep. Yep. So, anyways, yeah. So hopefully at least he'll remember me next time it really snows and everybody's banging down his door. Cause I bet I was one of the only ones that said, yeah, I need a shovel today, but he did a great job. Great job. Great job.
Yeah,
Just, yeah.
I'm happy to hear about that.
Yeah.
Happy to-
And Jwoo had kind of gotten rid of snow days with work from home, which is like the worst, benefit to get rid of. Like one of the nice things about working at college is, no classes, no work. But with work from home, they kind of changed their policy. Well, yesterday the email came out. It said, since we've had really no bad weather, we're going to encourage everybody to take today off as a snow day. And I was like, that's kind of awesome. So, all right, $50, but I was sitting on my butt all day.
Worth it.
Exactly.
Totally
exactly. And then I had to, the adventure of my day was Ubering to get my car. Oh God, Jerrod, let me tell you about my car.
Tell me about it.
So I took it in a couple weeks ago. All brakes needed to be done. So kind of a pretty penny. Apparently I wear my brakes pretty hard. I don't know. My dad says I ride them a little hard. Like I'm slow to apply them. So I put a lot of pressure on them when I do. That's his criticism. I don't know, but I do go through brakes quite a bit, it seems. So I went in, got the brakes. That's fine. My car has 160,000 miles on it. It's a 2012. It's getting up there. However, interest rates and availability of cars, just like you in the housing, I'm really not looking to replace that car. It's also paid for, right? So got the brakes fixed. Everything's good. I'm thinking, all right, it'll be a few months before I have to do anything for this car. So the other night, decided on Sunday, after being a sloth all day, decided I'm going to go into town and pick up a couple of things I needed and get Chinese food and break my vow of not eating out unless it's a social endeavor. So not getting takeout to eat at home when I have stuff in the freezer. So I do my errands and then it's time. I've called in the Chinese food. I'm going to I'm driving my car and I get to an intersection that's on the top of a hill and I got to make a hard right turn and then a quick left turn. So I go to make the hard right turn my wheel all the way as I'm turning. And all of a sudden I hear crunch and the car, while the engine still goes and you can feel it trying to go, it will not move forward. So put it in park, put the emergency brake on and go outside. My tire is faced in the wrong direction. I was trying to take a right. One tire's going left, the other one's going right. So they're actually doing like this. So I'm like, crap. So I was able to turn the other wheel that was still working in the direction that the tire was facing and kind of move it down towards the curb, but I'm still really blocking traffic. Luckily, not a busy street. So I park it, call AAA, and down in South Kingston, nobody's there. They're like, well, your local one is out on a long distance call. So we'll have to send somebody from AAA to get in. And the closest person I think was in Richmond, which is like a half hour away. So I was like, all right. They're like, are you blocking traffic? I said, oh yeah. And I cannot move this car. The wheel is turned. He says, oh God, we'll put a real big brush on it. So waited about 20 minutes. Not bad. And the guy took one look at it and said, you blew a tie rod. I was like, that's all right. No, nothing of cars. Sounds good. So I take off. I get a ride. I take off, bring it into the garage. I go home. So Monday, I get a call, tells me what it is, says how much it'll be. Great. And I said, but he calls me late in the day and I don't have anyone to go bring me to pick it up. So I was like, you know what? Just leave it there. It's going to snow. Now I don't have to shovel it out. So a lot of karma things are going against me. I'm really being deceitful with this whole thing. So decide, snow day. All right. I'll wait until the precipitation is stopped and I'll call an Uber and I go get the car. Everything's fine. Well, I never use Uber. Friendliest Uber driver you'd ever want to meet. His name's Ian. 2 Ians in a car. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. So it was, it was a good day. I didn't really have an ending to this story.
No, that whole story was to tell me you had an Uber driver named Ian?
No, it wasn't originally, but then I was like, oh, I need a button. All right, that's the button.
That was like a 15-minute story.
I know. You were very patient with me.
And the Uber driver's name was Ian, too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Andy lived in Virginia around the time I lived in Virginia.
Oh, my God. I was going to make a joke at the end, like, Ian, I know you've been talking this whole time, but you've been on mute. Nobody's heard you. Just panic for a second. But then when you ended with, and the Uber driver's name was Ian, too. Like, God damn, Ian.
This is how I should have ended.
That's a part of the story.
That is part of the problem. So I'm going to pat myself on the back because I did the right thing. Once I knew I wasn't going to make it to the Chinese food, called them. And by this time it's past the time they said it would be ready. So I said, hey, it's an order for Ian. My car broke down. I'm getting a tow. I'm not going to be able to pick it up. I said, I am more than happy to pay for the Chinese food. I just want you to give it to somebody, whatever. I don't want it to go to waste. And they were like, absolutely not. Don't even worry about it. We'll give it away, but we are not taking your money. So they made a customer for life. So
I'm going to say, yeah, I think you should break your rule of no, only eating out in special events for them.
For them. It's funny because as soon as I got the car back yesterday, I was like, oh, snow day. I should have Chinese food. I just wasn't in the mood for it. I wasn't that hungry. I didn't want to waste it so probably this weekend. I have a pretty slow weekend. So,
speaking of like going out and getting food there, not that long ago I was at Dave's Market, and anybody in Rhode Island knows Dave's Market got some quality food there.
Quality. But 100%.
I think that they have, I think they get a little desperate.
Shut up.
With some of their food offerings. Yeah. Because
what?
I found a food item there very recently that I don't know who their target audience is for it, but I think I think Dave's fallen on hard times, Ian. I think he's gone to a dark place and he's desperate for money, and I think he's lost all sense of right and wrong.
Why?
So you're not going to believe what he is selling now. This is a true picture that I took in a Dave's Market. This food item was offered, Ian.
Okay.
Dave's own wiener sauce.
Oh!
Dave, what
is going on, Dave?
Here?
Dave,
keep your wiener sauce to yourself.
Oh my God. Did they have, that's
for $3.99 a pound. Come on, Dave.
Yeah, no. That's Rhode Island health inspectors not doing their job.
It was frozen. I guess that doesn't make it better or worse.
No.
Fresh wiener sauce, but
and Dave's catered my 50th birthday.
Really?
Yeah. So
you might have had a special ingredient.
We didn't have any wiener sauce. I'll tell you that. We had some great chicken parm.
And he went out of his way. Dave's own wiener sauce.
Yeah, we're not outsourcing this.
No.
Dave's got a new full-time job. It's making the sauce.
Dave's own wiener sauce.
Oh my God.
There's no Tom, Dick, or Harry's wiener sauce in there.
So here's the question. You took a picture of it. Did you buy it?
No. No, I put it back, and I hope that people saw me taking a picture of it and went over and looked at what.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure, and I would almost guarantee you aren't the first and won't be the last person to take a picture of it.
I'm thinking maybe give it a different name,
Yeah. Well, or I guess that's copyright. I was going to say, because it's New York System, right? It's the meat sauce that goes on a New York System, but you can't really say New York System because that's a brand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you would name it.
I don't think I'd name it Dave's own wiener sauce.
No, I think you could do anything is better.
Anything else is better.
Yeah, you're right.
If you made a list of everything you could call that product, came with what came in dead last.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Nothing worse there. So also in Jerrod in the Wild, this was just today. I was in an elevator. We've all been in elevators, right?
I
Sure.
have.
I'm relatable when I say that. We've
I
all
was in
been.
one today as well.
Look at us riding the elevators.
I took the elevator after I walked down the stairs to the vending machine. So unloading my face and not exercising.
Great story, Ian.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
chiming in.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
So,
not bad for off the top of my head. Sorry, show this damn
so,
picture.
so if there's one thing about elevators, right? They're not very confusing for most people, right?
Nope.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yep.
It's hard to make an elevator confusing, right?
Right.
This is the elevator I was in today. Ian, what floor was I going to?
Oh my God.
Oh, I meant to take some more of the picture there that got in there.
Yeah, I would say, how is the ground floor the second?
Right?
I can't even read what's next to the one, but
The one. So they got
Okay.
one of the 4 floors matched up.
So really, one should be basement, like a B. And then 2 might make sense, but I would go B, 1, 2, 3.
I just think match up the the top 2 right there.
Yeah.
Like, how hard is this?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh my
Really?
God. That
You
is
just
so,
noticed just
that is
now?
so confusing. Like, I feel like it's sucking a little of my intelligence.
I
That's
just
it.
yeah, it's 2 pictures.
Just got it's yeah, I know, but I mean, it got silent all of a sudden.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were about to say something there.
Oh no.
No. So
I'm still trying to figure out how to fix it.
yeah, I don't know. Either replace the buttons or replace the little signs next to the buttons.
And this is an ADA nightmare because the poor people that have to use Braille,
Right?
what are they going to do?
What if I'm on the top floor and there's an emergency and I've got to like call for an emergency and they say, "What floor are you on?" I'm not going to know what to tell them.
I'm on the second floor ground.
And at least with that one, I could say 4 and that'd be the only option. But what if I was 1 floor underneath? What if I was in the second to top floor? What floor do I give? No matter what I tell them, second or third, there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to get it wrong. And I think somebody put those little buttons on there after. So I think somebody put the little 3, 2, ground star, and 1. Those must have come after the buttons that say 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Because those are part of the elevator. And so somebody saw those and somebody still put them there and said, "This must be, you know what? I'm getting paid minimum wage. I am going."
But Jerrod, put it back up. Put it back up. What you failed to mention, they tried to fix it a third time by these little sticky things.
Right.
Like, so now there's also, like, as Garth says, Ruth Bader Ginsburg floor, but a little out of order.
Yeah, you're the company there. It's like, okay, how am I going to tell people what stinking floor I'm on?
Yeah. Oh my God. Your mom wants to know where you ended up.
Top. I just went to the very top button.
Mm-hmm. I feel like at that point, stairs are safer.
Yeah, to me, it's like I'm going to the top. If I'm wrong, I'll just keep going down 1 floor at a time until I get to the right one.
Yeah, that's smart.
Jerrod in the Wild.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm telling you, it's a crazy world out there. It is
crazy elevator escapades.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we don't know what's up or down anymore. Up or down. Yeah, and imagine getting on the 3rd floor, reading that you're on the 2nd floor, and trying to figure out where to go from there. Like, good God.
I'm so glad there was an emergency, and I had to, like, the elevator was stopped, and I'm calling that elevator emergency line, and I say it's stopped, and they say, "Well, what floors are you in between?" I would have to say, I don't know.
I would have, yeah. Am I going by the stickies or am I going by the light up buttons? You got to let me know.
And like the really embarrassing part would be if I say, if they're like, "What floor are you close to?" I say, "I don't know." They would on there start explaining to me how to tell which floor I'm on. So are you between the 2 and the 3? As if I wouldn't know,
Meanwhile, you're on.
This is a poorly labeled elevator. And they'd say, "Really?"
Yeah. And meanwhile, you burst into flames because they're taking too long.
Right. Right.
You're done. You're
I
done.
barely averted a crisis today. And let's
Just
say I got
averted.
stuck in there. I didn't have any of Dave's own wiener sauce to sustain me.
Oh, Dave. So what else is going on? So you got this position. All right. So let me ask you, Jerrod,
Yeah.
are you going to make any changes now that you're in power? I mean, that's the scary thing, that the unknown. You are power hungry, self-admittedly power hungry. So I can only imagine
That is
that
true.
there's going to be some changes.
That is true. And it's funny you should ask, Ian, on that clever segue. As the artistic director, there are going to be some changes. And I want to tell everybody that now I've taken this presentation that Ian introduced me to, but I've been sticking with my high quality graphics there.
Yeah, did you have to turn in any kind of like artistic portfolio to get this job? Wow, what you can do with black on white. It's amazing. You're the artistic director for us. If I could play music on this without getting us in jail, I would do Changes by David Bowie right now.
I'm still available for hire for anybody who needs or would like me to do their graphics design work. So people who don't know what an artistic director does is basically for theater. The artistic director is the one who's in charge of like making sure the shows are good, making sure the classes are good. Those are the two big responsibilities right there. And in any theater, it's full of awesome actors. We're Providence Improv Guild here. It's already got awesome teachers and awesome performers right there. So that makes my job a lot easier. But you know what? I still think there's some good changes we can make. So Ian,
yes,
when you think about like classic theater, really classic theater right there.
Like Shakespearean, like back in Shakespeare's day. Yeah.
You think of like the golden ages of movies when the movie productions were more like the big theater productions right there.
Yeah.
They've got an element of class to them, right?
Absolutely.
There's an element of just being somehow better.
Just a different class and quality than today.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we tap into that.
Yeah.
And I want to have our shows, at least sometimes, be a little bit more like that. So my idea, old-timey turn back the clock shows that will be shown in black and white. They're live shows, but we're going to figure out a way to make these live shows just be black and white.
Wow. That's going to be challenging. That is going to be challenging.
Hey, I'm an ideas guy, though.
You are.
Maybe instead of dialogue, we'll just have somebody playing the piano in the background. And when somebody has something to say, they'll hurry up and write it on a big white card and hold it up and show it to everybody.
Yep. That's not going to slow down the pacing at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm still a little not sure about the how I'm going to do it in black and white. Maybe I will employ some dogs to get some of their insight.
Yeah. Oh, good call. Because they only see in black and white. I will say, dangerous territory. There's some landmines ahead of you on this one.
There might be. I may have to like squirt stuff in people's eyeballs when they walk into the theater.
I think that. Yeah. For $5 a show and a squirt in the eye. Wow.
What a deal, right?
Hold them back. We're going to have to find a new theater to get extra seats.
Now, another element, we do improv comedy. We do comedy. So we want shows to be funny, right? And I think there's been an element of comedy that's been missing from the shows that we can add. And I think you already know what I'm talking about, Ian.
I think I know where you're going.
More knock-knock jokes.
Absolutely.
What improv theater reaches its heights without knock-knock jokes? Answer, none.
None. Yeah. Knock. Well, and also, Jerrod.
Yeah.
Our humor level has been described as juvenile. And what's more juvenile than a knock-knock joke? We're just giving the audience what they want.
How
and
dare you?
expect.
Knock jokes are the height of classy.
Well, that's why they're the
sophisticated
height, because
comedy.
all age groups can appreciate them. That's all I'm saying.
Ian, knock.
Who's there?
You know what? I should have thought of a joke.
Yeah, I
before
was
went
gonna
ahead and
say, yeah, we
said that. Yeah,
yeah.
we're
we
gonna
have
need some planning for this one to really get it through, get it out.
Yeah, kind of not the improv expertise I was looking for.
Yeah, here, you start one. Say knock.
Knock.
Who's there?
You.
You who?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I need the workshop. Are you teaching it? I need to learn how to do it.
Yeah, maybe. I guess we know what new skill we're gonna have to be teaching in the curriculum now.
Yeah.
We might have to workshop some of these knock jokes here.
I mean, I have a knock joke. I just thought you wanted an original one.
Yeah. I don't want to hear the knock joke that you've already heard.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. That's easy. That's hack.
Yeah. So, Ian, one thing about doing live comedy on stage is, words sometimes tumble out of your mouth, and you got to keep the audience considered.
All
right?
the time.
There's artistic freedom, but
But
you need to make sure that you're not going to places that the audience
doesn't
is
want to
not
follow.
comfortable with.
Yep.
So I've taken a look to see what kind of standards are out there that I could kind of reach into and grab for for what we're presenting on stage. And let me take a step back. When you do improv comedy, the show is only as good as the gets from the audience, right? And those gets can come from a lot of different. Every
time I've bombed on stage, it's because it wasn't a good get. It had nothing to do with my skill set at all.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're going. Yes.
And so there has to be a certain standard for gets right there.
Yes.
So that means we're going to have to eliminate a lot of gets.
Yep.
So I was looking out there and I was looking for like examples of ways that we can eliminate just a lot of gets. So what we're going to do is all gets will have to meet the state of Florida's approved get standards.
Oh, wow.
Just like their books in the school.
Yeah.
There are none anymore. It's going to be the same with the gets.
Yeah. So basically, orange. That's the get.
Right.
That's
which
about
is
it.
also going to tie into the knock jokes.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Ian,
and the board heard all these ideas and said, "Yeah, you're our guy," right?
These were I kept to myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
These are
okay.
happy surprises.
Yeah.
One of the things about being in a position like this is you can put your own personal touch in, and there's a certain point where you can push things in to into what everybody's seeing that is just your own personal preferences, your own likes and dislikes, because it makes sense to you. And there's some things I feel very, very strongly about, which brings me to my next new change I'm going to be making. Onions are not allowed to be referenced in any scenes.
Oh.
Everybody knows onions are the devil's fruit. They're awful. They are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They are just. I will eat sandwiches and think about what it would be like if there was an onion in there, and it will ruin. I will make a face right there. So
now you and I have seen an improv scene that consisted solely of someone eating an onion.
That's true. And it was. I will admit that was surprisingly. What's the word I'm looking for, Ian? Because it wasn't terrible.
Interesting.
Maybe interesting.
I was going to say compelling. It is not. I did not want to do it. It was a choice, Jerrod. It was a choice.
You know what it was? It was like a train wreck. Like I was watching and I couldn't look away while it was happening.
Yeah.
But I felt dirty.
Yeah. We definitely, I was glad the scene that followed up of it was nothing to do with eating raw vegetables. It just was back to traditional comedy.
I can't stop thinking about that either now. Just watching this person crunch it away on an onion was,
Ate it like an apple.
We will not be seeing that in any theater I am the artistic director for.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
can
wondering.
tell you
Actually,
that.
actually, I was wondering if that's what inspired this.
I mean, that was a real onion. We're not even going to allow improv onions into
Yeah.
any of the scenes anymore.
Or even saying the word onion.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. That's
So,
going to be a tough one. That's going to be. Are there penalties?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You will be driven from the kingdom.
Really?
Yeah, you are not allowed. They will be driven to
Like
the border.
one offense and you're out, or you're going to give them
No,
a little bit of time to adjust?
they will be driven to either the Connecticut or Massachusetts border and dropped off.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
no. We will not have that. We will not
Wow.
have that. So, Ian,
Yes.
there's
Although
been a lot
there's-
of controversy lately.
Yeah.
Some things going on. Certain news organizations that were found to be presenting one story, while it was revealed that internally they had a very different take on things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't want us to get caught up in that.
No.
That can't be good.
That's
There's a lot of controversy around that. People.
one could even say anti-American.
I agree, and we don't want to do that. And we are improv comedy,
We are.
So we can't have that.
We are. We set the moral code of our community.
Yeah.
Right.
And in this instance, it was the election denying, and that just puts more pressure on us to distance ourselves from it. So we will be taking the public stand. We distancing ourselves from the allegations that in order to gain audience, we support denials. We do not support denials at any improv guild, any improv organization at all that I am a part of. We yes and things.
There's no negation. No negation.
No negation. We yes and. We do not deny.
Yep. I agree. No matter how much the audience wants us to deny, we will not do it.
Right. We have our integrity to consider.
Yep. I'm 100%. I'll be honest, this is the first one I can get behind.
So that,
as much as I like knock jokes.
Yeah, I should have prepared a little bit better for the knock joke.
Yeah, you didn't sell me on that one, Jerrod. I thought you'd have a good.
As I was doing, as the knock was tumbling out of my mind, I'm like, I'll think of something. And then
now it's going to be my challenge to determine to come up with a form that is a perfect improvised knock joke.
Right. I said knock, fully confident that I would come up with something, and
I'm going to get a get in the audience. The get will be knock, and or maybe I'll have them do it. That's like a magic trick. Give the perfect knock joke to the audience to complete. So they would say knock. I'd say who's there. They'd give us an offer. I'd say offer who, and then it would just be right there for the taking that they could come up with the punchline.
I like the idea of endowing a scene partner as a knock joke specialist and keep putting them in position to start knock jokes.
I like it.
Have to come up with something.
Game the hell out of that. Put them in the impossible situation.
Right.
I love it. Love it. Oh my God. Well, I'm excited for one of these changes. So that's good because I don't usually like anything. So
man, yeah, I'm looking through it. Some of these are going to be a tough sell.
So yeah, well, hey, it's a community. Communities need leaders, man.
That's right. And you know what? I think we can have some discretion on who is a part of our community, and people who like onions will no longer be part of our community, and that's
okay.
Yeah.
There, the community needs to be able to set its value system, or else if you don't have shared values, it's really tough to build community.
There's other places that people who like onions can hang out.
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah.
Prison.
Mm-hmm.
The Barf Club.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Smellsville.
Yep. Stank Town.
Yep. I agree.
Just as far away from me as possible. The cemetery.
Now, shallots. Reference to shallots.
So shallots are okay.
Okay.
Shallots are okay. Shallots, those are like,
Chives?
yeah, chives are cool. Chives,
Okay.
I don't know why people call chives onion. That is a totally different part of that.
Interesting. Well, because chives are close to green onions, and I'm assuming that green onions are out.
It's the bulbs that are bad.
Oh,
Chives
okay. So green
come
onions
out.
are in.
So chives are the part of the onion that are coming out of the ground. They are reaching to God.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why
Okay.
chives
Okay.
are in.
See, it's important you gotta give detail, because I think we could have really lost some great improv about chives if you hadn't said anything. Or, like, I think you
True.
gotta be real. We don't,
It's
you know,
true.
we would lose a lot of audience if, that chive based content.
Did you see the last Spider-Man movie
I
with
did.
the 3 Spider-Men in it?
Yes.
So you know how Doc Ock became a good guy, went from being an evil villain to a
Yes.
good guy in it.
Yes.
And when he was a good guy, he was really good. That's
Yes.
how I view shallots. So shallots, are associated with all the bad guys. They've probably likely been bad in the past, but they've come over to the good guy side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want
So
to welcome them with open arms.
you do the crime, you do the time, and then it's a clean slate. That's what you're
That's right.
saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Shallots
right.
work for the forces of good. Onions work for the devil.
Okay.
That's why
All
they
right.
come from the ground.
All right. Cool. Do you know what? There was a family member, and I'm not going to name her name, but all growing up, she would put onions on pizza.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. We would have sausage and onion pizza, ruining a perfectly good sausage pizza with onions.
Oh, so growing up, my mom and dad's favorite foods were peppers and onions. Want to guess what my sister and I's least favorite foods in the world
Peppers
were?
and onions.
Peppers and onions. There's
Yeah.
so many foods I had as a kid that I was like, I don't like this food. I will never like this food because it would be filled with peppers and onions. That as an adult, when I was able to have things like meatloaf or lasagna that didn't
Without
have like
those things.
big
Yeah.
bell peppers or loaded with onions, and it's like, oh, these can be good. You
Yeah.
just keep the gross stuff out of them.
I was able to tolerate the onions, and as an adult, I actually like them. I'm not on the hate onion train. But bell peppers, that would just, and my mom really loved them, and she would, I don't know if she was lying to herself or just me, but say she forgot that we don't like pepper. I'm like, every time you make this dish, and I would agree, the dish wouldn't be the same without the peppers. So my argument is, then don't make this anymore when I'm
Right.
home. Now again, probably could have been making the meal. Kind of a little bit rude to say the person that's making the meal like had a lot of privilege back then. I kind of understand my ways, but there was a lot of deceit going on as well. There was a little gaslighting going on as well. So I don't think there was any hero in that story. You know what I'm saying?
And the worst is like when you don't like a food, like let's say something gross like onions, and like my parents at least knew they, they
Yeah.
joke about it. And to this day, they both joke about it, but they got it. I didn't like onions, so like when they make a big salad, they'd make some nice salads to go with dinner. They'd put the onions on the side because they knew I didn't like onions. So they got it. There's foods we all don't like, and people get that. When I was married, and I'm not saying this to trash her because we consider each other family now. But my ex-wife, when we first had gotten married, now we have our own kitchen. We're making our own food. And there was a dish that her mom made growing up that her brothers really liked, hot dog casserole. And it really seems like the kind of thing I would like because I like hot dogs. But one of the main ingredients in the hot dog casserole,
especially with Dave's hot wiener sauce.
Dave's hot wiener sauce.
It was right there for the taking. All right, go ahead.
But the recipe had onions in it, and I don't like onions. And she would like keep making it, and she would put less and less onions in it, but there were still onions in it. And we would have these big fights over it. And I didn't want to, fight with her for making dinner or anything like that. But I'm like picking all the onions out and everything. She's like, why are you doing? Because I don't like onions. She would say, there's barely any onions in it. And it's like, I don't like onions at all. So even if I bite into
onions have a taste, right? I mean,
onion.
Yeah, onions have a taste. Even a little onion, you're going to taste.
And then she would be like, they've got to be in there. It gives it flavor. And I'd be like, yes, an onion flavor, which I don't like. So
yeah, give me a heads up. I'm gonna make something else tonight. You're making that.
That was the beginning of the end of our marriage right there. And this is not me making ex-wife jokes. I do have to say, her and I get along very well now. She's a wonderful mother to our children.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that you might have had some eccentricities that annoyed her.
You'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. Perfect in every way.
Now we need to have your daughter. Right, now you need to have your daughters on the show, and let's get to the bottom of it.
Oh, my ex-wife won that one because my daughters all like onions.
Well, yeah, they got it at an early age. Like you like the stuff you've been eating your whole life.
It's so disappointing. Mm-hmm. They're like the 3 best people in the world, and maybe I'm biased, but to me, they're all tied for first for best people in the world. But by virtue of liking onions, somebody could take their crown.
Yeah. So you're saying if you found all things being equal, you found another person and they don't like onions, you're going to have to give the crown to a non-blood relative.
Oh, I'm not comfortable making this statement in public. My daughters always come first. We'll say that. I will stick with that one. But they could be even firster, Ian.
I get you. They'll always be first, but yeah. And if one of them would like to be like number one of your kids, the first to denounce onions is going to win that.
That's true. Yeah.
You don't play favorites until somebody says, I don't like onions.
That whole split evenly 3 ways part of the old will can be changed at any time.
There it is. The onion clause.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Which would also be like, imagine how shitty Christmas would be if there was an onion clause.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be terrible. And I don't know if good or bad. I'd be the opposite of whatever that was.
I don't know what this means, but I think the gauntlet's been thrown.
Yeah, welcome to the inside of Jerrod's extended family.
I take it your Aunt Denise doesn't like onions either.
She must not.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So, but my Aunt Denise is a pretty cool, interesting character. So I'm just going to tell a quick Aunt Denise story. She had her kids. Then when her kids were young, she went back to school and she got a mathematics degree. And then she got her master's. I don't know if it's just in mathematics or a form of mathematics, but now at Quinebaug Valley Technical Community College, she is the head of the math department. And I think that's very cool. And, you look around, there's not a ton of women out there in STEM. I think there are more. I'm in a technical field. There's not a lot of women, but there's more. So I love seeing a woman who's in charge of a college math department and doesn't like onions.
So we both had stories that just didn't really have a point.
Yeah, well, okay. I was going to take that on to create a little competition between my mom and my aunt, but I can't do that.
Can't do it. Yeah. At least my story had Chinese food in it.
My story had a woman running a math department at a college. My story was inspirational. Yours had 2 people named Ian in the same car.
That never happens.
I've got to think that happens.
It never happens. It would be like you being in a car with another Jerrod that's spelled exactly the way you spelled Jerrod.
That is not at all the same.
It's the same.
I've met a lot more Ians than JERRODSs out there.
Well, back in the day when I was a kid, not so much. It is. We were actually, the Ian Driven and I talked about that growing up.
Oh, look at this. You meet one freaking Ian, and that's all you can talk about is being Ians. Just talk about Ianing around.
Yep.
Now are you in the Ian club now?
No, I'm going to try to see if I can get his contact from the Uber app. I feel like I missed an opportunity.
So, okay. So my turn for a little story then, even though I did just tell one. Yeah, my name spelled the way it is. You know how Facebook will have those targeted ads that sometimes they are just way off. Like I for a long time I had all these ads for like shirts for really short guys, and I'm 5'10". I'm a legit 5'10". I don't lie about being 6 feet, I'm like, come on, I don't need these short King ads. But there was one. It was for some stupid shirt, like when they, they broke the mold when they made the Jerrod, spelled Jerrod. It's like, okay, I know why I got this ad. And all the comments are other Jerrods in the world making little comments. And I made some joke about it. Somebody who thought my joke was funny replied to me, and we are Facebook friends now. He's a guy named Jerrod Caldwell, and he is a comedy writer. He's written for stand-up comedians. He like Yakov Smirnoff. I mean, he sold jokes to like some really good comedians. He was a writer on the Arsenio Hall show. He actually has a Facebook group that he invited me to that I'm a part of. That is for like joke writers, and he'll go in. You can he'll put things up to write jokes about. He'll critique them and everything for you. Since the new year, I've been really busy, so I haven't had a chance to get as many in there. But I mean, you're meeting Uber drivers.
Hey, I'm just saying. You had a very similar experience with somebody with your name. And when it happens to me for the first time, you're like, no. Total. That is such a double standard, my friend.
Let me ask my Jerrod if he's ever driven an Uber. There's nothing wrong with driving an Uber, too. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, he was a physician's assistant in his day job. So he's just like,
no. He's a state senator.
He's an eccentric billionaire. I would die. I would absolutely die if someone named Ian chimed in right now and it's that dude.
Oh, then you'd be like, oh, there's two Ians on the show today. Then you would tell somebody else that story, and they would have to sit there and listen to another shitty Ian met an Ian story.
We'd have to hear my driver's perception of our drive.
You think he's going around telling people like, you are not going to believe what happened. I picked up a guy. Guess what his name was? It was Ian. Two Ians in the same car.
All right. Actually, I'm not giving into this one. It was a valid story, and I would argue he just doesn't have an internet show and would have talked about it if he had one.
Oh yeah. I bet he's like a writer for the New York Times, and we're going to be reading an article about it on Sunday.
No, I mean, I didn't think he was that braggy. That he would want to. Never mind. It's going nowhere.
Crazy, because usually Ians are really braggy, especially when they get together. That's double the Ian.
Oh, you don't know. It's so rare that they get together. You don't even know what happens. Just there's not that many of us.
I guess not, because I would assume I would be hearing about it every time.
All the time, right? How many times have you had this conversation? This is the first time.
Meeting all the Ians in the world.
I wonder if there is like a Ian club.
I actually have a cousin named Ian.
Do you?
And this is kind of cool. He was in the Merchant Marines, so working on the big ships.
Yeah.
And one of the ships that he worked on, he worked for this scientist who found the Titanic. This is obviously after that, but he worked for him for a while on the Merchant Marine ship.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's a cool Ian story. Look at this. 2 Ians. I only had 1 Ian in my story, and let's face it, cooler story.
But all of mine are cooler people. Anyways, what do you got to plug?
Wow, I'm losing track of everything. So this Saturday, I'm performing at the Province Improv Guild with my awesome house team, Dr. Nighttime. Dr. Nighttime has been called the top improv team in Rhode Island. It's me that's called them that.
I was going to say, who the hell?
Friday, I was teaching a level 3 class, and they have their final showcase. So for the listeners who are watching right now, at the theater that we perform at, we also teach. And what level 3 that class is character and advanced scene. So I have been pounding on them, and they had their first showcase, and they kicked ass. So I'm looking forward Friday to their second showcase.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Before I go on, I need to address this right here. Hold on. I can't even, Gregory. I can't even go down this road. This gentleman pronounces IAN, iron. That I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. It's pronounced Ian. If anybody that pronounces it differently is wrong. So I don't want any part of the Ian Ziering fan club.
I actually, with BYOI, I'm not performing with them for a little while. I had to cut back on the shows since the AD position.
We're still on this, I see.
But I perform with an Ian.
Oh, okay. There we go. Do you really? Sorry,
Yep.
Ian. But I kind of believe it.
He was the Ian story. Remember that show, Win Ben Stein's Money?
Yes.
Jimmy Kimmel was on it. He was on that show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like as a contestant?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew you love it. That's why I love it, because they pronounce it. This is my really good friend Greg.
How come all the Ians and Ians I meet have done all these cool things?
Hey, I've done a cool. I've done one cool thing. I have done one cool thing. So
your one cool thing was meeting another Ian.
Well, no, they're two cool things. I was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Thank you very much.
You were.
I was.
Why didn't you tell that story?
Save it for another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever I do the
Ians.
say one interesting thing about yourself. That's my go-to. All right.
Now you have two interesting things to tell about yourself. What are two interesting things about yourself? One, I was in Macy's Day Parade. Two, I once had an Uber driver with the same name as me.
35 years apart. But just think about that. If that's true, if that's like, if my two things happen 35 years apart, imagine how exciting this week is that it happened. I mean, right? I'm surprised I even made the show. Like,
and just imagine how when like the really exciting thing was meeting another Ian. Like, what was that last 35 years like?
Oh, boring as hell, right? just meeting all these Johns and Susans and and Jerrod's.
We met one. Mm-hmm. And he's met some cool Ians.
My plugs. I got nothing going on this week, but I have a few things that are coming up. So next Friday, I'll be performing with Nutflux and Chull, a very loose movie montage form that we do. We're figuring it out, but having a lot of fun doing it. So that's next Friday at 8 p.m. at Providence Improv Guild. But there's two things. I'm also performing on March 18th. In the daytime, I'm doing a workshop at the United Theater in Westerly. And it's called Improv for Everyone. And it's for anybody that would like to give improv a try, low stakes. And I don't really focus on performing improv with that. I focus on how improv can help you in your day-to-day life, work life, family life, home life, life skills that you learn through improv comedy. People say they like it, and I get good reviews on it. So don't take my word for it. Take their word for it. But that is happening at United Theater. You can check out United Theater Westerly for info on registration for that. And then also that night, I am performing on the stage with Nutflux and Chull, and Crotch Davidson will be the headliner. So a couple opportunities. And for those of you that are closer to Westerly than Providence, this could be a good opportunity for you to check out a new space, our new partners, and if you want, take a class. I believe it's 1 to 3, a 2-hour workshop, reasonably priced, and give it a shot. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
And we had all ages last time we did this. I had a couple of middle schoolers on up to retirees, all genders, everybody's welcome. Come on out. It's fun. It's fun.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was any of them named Ian?
No. I would have talked about it. You're not gonna believe it, Jared. I taught a workshop. There was an Ian in it.
I just know that if there's an Ian in this after, like the next Ian and Jerrod show, you are just gonna be smirking at the minute because you won't be able to stop yourself from telling us.
I'm gonna have pictures of us together. I'm not gonna miss my opportunity.
Proof
Yeah.
of Ian's together.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure. Did I forget to mention that all of my stuff this weekend is a Providence Improv Guild? I feel
everything is at Providence Improv Guild for Jerrod. And also, for those of you who have taken the level 1 anywhere, have some improv experience, I'm going to be teaching level 2 on Sundays, beginning the first Sunday in April. I don't know the times of those, but it's either late morning or early afternoon. But yeah, check the PIG website. They're enrolling now. We're going to have a good time. It's all about learning about game, which is something that I love about improv, and kind of changed my whole way of viewing humor and comedy is by learning about game. So
it's like me and Ian, we always talk about performing together, and we end up rarely ever getting on stage together and perform. But when we do, our style of improv that we do with each other is always like very game heavy. It's like that technical game stuff is always what our scenes are about. And they're funny scenes. When you do game well, you will have funny scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, the last time we performed, we just did a scene at a family picnic.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd have to change we did our 20-25 minutes all
mono scene.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So, and it was all, you're right, it was all game. So
when I taught level 2 after that, I've thought of like, if I could somehow get a video in the class for everybody to watch, like showing our sets, because the only thing we do right in our sets is game.
We find something that's just a little bit funny and we poke at it.
Yeah, we sit there do it, and we rest the game, which is an important part of it.
And then come back to it.
Bring it back.
It's a lot like cooking beef. You gotta put it on the fire, then take it off, let it rest a little bit, then put it back on again.
Right? I hope you use that analogy when
I'm going. I just workshopped it, and I do not think it's going to make it to the class.
Stick with the knock-knock jokes. Teach the knock-knock jokes.
Yeah, game isn't what you think it is. It's all. So anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Anything else happening? It's March. Happy March, everybody. And yeah, it's the Ides of March are upon us in a couple of
Shamrock
weeks.
Shakes are for sale.
Jerrod's. I'm surprised you were able to do the show tonight.
I saw McDonald's, and they've got the shake with cookie in it. I'm intrigued.
Well, I think you need to explore that. Maybe we could do a remote show from a McDonald's.
Ooh, I'm sure they would love it.
Who are these assholes?
We'll tell people
they're. Why are they in the bubble pit?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it. And we're just cashing in our about to expire points.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. So, all right, man. Anything else?
That is it.
All right. Everybody, we're going to try to stay on a schedule. I'm going to try not to mess it up. So 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be back, 7 p.m. Spread the word. If you had a good time. If you didn't have a good time, keep your mouth shut about it. We don't need you.
Yeah. Go eat an onion.
Yeah. Go eat. Yeah. If you didn't like it because you were sitting there eating an onion, that's on you.
Yeah, we don't watch it.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye.